18 laps, 40.54 miles the full race distance. It's Ducati, Ducati, Suzuki, Ducati on the front row, and it looks as though a Ducati hit the front. The number 32 championship leader, Troy Bayliss, and it's Hodgson, number 25, who went with him, but Walker, the indomitable Walker, always there. We're looking back now from the Suzuki of Martin Craggill and the number 4 Ducati of John Reynolds. Craggill had a good qualifying position and a very, very good start, but it's his teammate Hayden, number 8, leading him. The number 33 Suzuki of Craggill, though, very close. But Bayliss leads, 32. Then it's Hodgson, number 25. Then it's 2, yet to find a win in this championship. Chris Walker on the Kawasaki. Then the 2 Revy Racing Ducatis. Number 4, John Reynolds, right in your face now, and with him, number 7, Sean Emmett, as away they go. The rear slick tyre of that Suzuki of Craggill's bobbing up and down under the rear wheel arch. The black helmet of Troy Bayliss, and he's back to the black hat again. We've seen him with a pink helmet, but now it's back to black. His lucky helmet, the 30-year-old Australian leading teammate, number 25, Neil Hodgson, away he goes. Troy Bayliss, often described here by the public address commentator as the Wizard of Oz, Steve. He's certainly up to some tricks this year.
Well, they say the good guys don't win, but this one does, because he's such an unassuming, modest character, but so fast on this Ducati. Now we're going through one of the really fast corners. That's Woodcote Corner, through there in fifth gear all the way down this straight, 150 miles an hour before they chuck it into Copse Corner. This is a third gear corner, very, very fast, bumpy on the inside. Vital to get the power out of here. On board with his teammate here, Neil Hodgson, with the other Ducati, having a look as they go through Maggot's curve, down, braking hard very much into Beckett's. This is a very slow corner. First gear for the Ducatis out of here. Accelerating now, short shifting. Third, fourth gear at this point, and again all the way up to fifth gear before they come right the way down into Abbey Curve, and this is where they join back onto the Grand Prix circuit. This is the international circuit, 2.2 miles, and here they come right the way down into first gear at this point. Hayden there looking good, he's braking late, closing right up on Walker as they come out of here. First, second, third gear into towards now Bridge Corner. Another very fast, daunting corner all the way around here, keeping it nice and tight on the right-hand side before they brake hard into Priory. This is some exciting... Oh, and that's James Hayden. James Hayden has gone down and the bike's pushing him along. I hope he's okay. Fortunately at Silverstone there's a huge runoff area and he looks to be okay. That was a strange accident. He didn't look to be on the power. The rear of that Suzuki came round on him.
3 wins already for Hayden, but he won't be improving on that. This man in your picture, though, has won 4 of the races so far, including a stunning double at Alton Park. But through goes Neil Hodgson, number 25. An amazingly quick move. He did it on the brakes there, swooped through on the inside of Bayliss, and Walker's gone. So in one fell swoop, Bayliss has gone from third. Oh, back to second he goes again. Ducati, Kawasaki, but it's Hodgson leading. Hodgson with only 1 win so far. He took the opening round at Brands Hatch, but he's going well here at Silverstone. There is very little local advantage to be had. Reynolds making a move for third, and Walker's down. Walker is down. It was pretty slow stuff there. No injury for the Kawasaki. Ruffled feathers, very indignant. I'm sure Chris Walker struggling to get the bike up, something hanging off the back, but Reynolds promoted himself to third, and I just wonder if that was a little bit tight. He ran in fast there. Walker turned in late, looking back from Craggill. Sean Emmett, number 7, going past the left-hand side of the Suzuki and making it. It's Hodgson, though. Number 32, Bayliss, still in second. Reynolds, Ducati. Steve, talk us through it.
Well, this is Hayden as he comes into Priory Corner, and look at the height he's got there, but that's a place where you're off the throttle. Whether it's a mechanical problem, whether he shifted down too many gears, I don't know. And we see it again. You can see the rear end of that bike slide. It flips back the other way and chucks him into the air, and then you can see the bike pushing him along in the gravel. It looks as though he didn't get pushed too hard or the bike landed on him too heavily. So James Hayden struggling to get up. And this is the situation here now. John Reynolds coming down into this slow corner here, and he's needing the circuit where Chris Walker is. Walker wouldn't have seen anything happening of that. All he would have felt was a bump on the side. I don't think it was premeditated at all. John Reynolds was hard on the brakes. Once you're hard on the brakes, you can't really turn the bike. Look now, Chris Walker, he's got his hand on the throttle. He's trying to keep that bike running.
Such is the composure of Walker. But look at number 96, Paul Young, the privateer, 7 wins already for Paul Young, moving on the back of the factory Suzuki of fellow countryman Marty Craghill. And Young, as I've said in previous programmes, has developed something of a reputation of beating the works boys on this privateer Yamaha, and he's going past Craghill and taking the position. So up one place goes Paul Young. Back at the front though, it's Hodgson, now resident in the Isle of Man, Neil Hodgson, originated from Burnley. There you can see number 96, Paul Young, has got the Yamaha firmly ahead of the Suzuki of Martin Craghill, and away they go. Craghill then trying hard, recovering from that leg injury which has plagued him all season, but he is getting better, maybe not quickly enough for Craghill. Looking forward from Hodgson, as rocketing past goes Troy Bayliss' teammate. The 2 GSE Ducati men in the orange liveried bikes. Very, very quick, those bikes prepare. Oh, and down goes Young. That's Paul Young is out of it. 7 wins in the Privateer Championship so far. That now means that the Privateer race leader is number 6 on the Myco machine, Dave Heel. Chris Walker is there. He's gathered himself together, got back on. He must be a lap adrift though, as the 2 Reve Racing men nearly punt each other off the track. Chris Walker's back in business. No chance of any points, but he's out obviously to settle himself in, make sure the bike's okay and ready for the next race, but he's right there at racing speed. Steve, what's he up to?
He's possibly out there checking out the John Reynolds line through Abbey Corner, but back on board here now with Neil Hodgson in second place, looking round the outside as they come through Luffield, and this is Troy Bayliss in front, over the start and finish line, through Woodcote Corner again, a 5th gear corner. It looks as though Chris Walker is now retired, but John Reynolds there in 4th place. He's pushing very hard. Coming down into Cops Corner, once again down into 3rd gear. Very bumpy this corner here, but it's vital to get on the power really early as they climb up the hill here. Sean Emmett there having a very, very good ride on the number 7 Ducati, and there he goes. Hodgson goes through Maggots Corner. Hodgson's hard on it as they slam on the brakes right the way down into 1st gear. There's Emmett on the inside. Emmett goes through now to 2nd place, but he runs wide, looking like Bayliss gets back into 2nd. So Emmett went in there a little too hot and allowed Bayliss to get back into 2nd.
Well, I can tell you, the leader of the 4-cylinder race at the moment is Neil Mackenzie, who's in 5th place on his Yamaha because it's a Ducati benefit at the front. Hodgson from Bayliss. And the 2 GSE Ducatis, there's a rumour, if you like, in the paddock that these engines are pure factory all the way from Bologna, just as they are out of the box. I can tell you now that ace tuner John Hackett screws those motors together, and he's one of the few people allowed to tinker with the goods that come out of Italy. And similarly mounted, the 2 men, Emmett number 7 and Reynolds number 4, on equally fast factory Ducatis, and it's a Ducati benefit, rather like the World Superbike Series at the moment, dominated by this Italian marque. Up to the front again goes Bayliss. Bayliss determined to repeat his magnificent feat at Alton Park, where he took the double win, but he's got a handful of business behind him in the shape of Neil Hodgson, his teammate, who is very, very smooth round here and is right on the back of the Australian. Or can I say Sean Emmett in 3rd place, number 7, closing again now. Reynolds still in 4th. Reynolds came into the championship well established, closing on the points gap, but he needs a good result here. Hodgson, with only 1 win so far, also would like to take the win, and Emmett is looking very, very good and very strong. Mackenzie some way off the pace now. The other Yamaha, of course, Paul Young departed the proceedings. Troy Bayliss, his fitness, Steve, second to none. He is nothing short of an athlete.
Very much so. He rides 70 miles a day sometimes on his bicycle on the roads, and he is very, very good at that. He's a top-class motocross rider. He really could have taken any route in those sports, but he chose this sport, and I'm very glad he did, because he really is a superstar. As we said, very, very modest guy, but he does get down and he can ride that Ducati so well. Ridden in 250 Grand Prix, and there we see John Reynolds going through into 3rd place, so that was Reynolds underneath his teammate. Has he gone too wide? No, he hasn't. He's managed to keep a tight line as he changes that Ducati right down into 1st gear to keep a nice tight line at Brooklands. Getting up into 2nd now for Luffield. This is a long corner, very easy to spin the rear tyre here. You can see the big black lines on the track there as they come out of here in 2nd gear, short shifting into 3rd, into 4th, over the start and finish line here. Now Silverstone have done a great job here. They've taken away the white lines that indicate the grid positions for the Formula 1 cars, made it much smoother, so top marks to Silverstone for preparing this circuit.
That exit from Woodcote down towards Cops, frighteningly fast, 150 miles an hour, and it's the one point on the circuit where if the riders did get into trouble, there's nowhere to go. But we're looking now as John Reynolds goes past Neil Hodgson, number 25, our cameraman Hodgson on the orange Ducati, the GSE bike being passed by that, a Revy Racing Ducati flicking it through. Look how smooth Reynolds is. Another man who's come from the world of motocross in his dim and distant past. And it pays benefits. They get used to the bike moving about under them. They're very confident when things let go a little bit. No one more confident than John Reynolds. You could tell the way he dived up the inside of Chris Walker there, repeated that manoeuvre on his teammate Sean Emmett, and now accelerating away, possibly being the smaller of the two men. He has a slight advantage on a power-to-weight ratio because Neil Hodgson is well over 6 feet and has a bit of a problem wrapping himself round that Ducati. The Ducati, when all's said and done, is a very neat, narrow and relatively diminutive motorcycle compared to some of the big four-cylinders. There's your race leader, Troy Bayliss, coming up now among the tail-enders. Are they going to give him the space he needs? Last lap, checkered flag ahead of him. Bayliss takes the win, and what a win it was. Will the tail-enders get out of the way? Yes, they will. A brilliant result for Bayliss. Reynolds beat Hodgson and Emmett, so it was a Ducati benefit, but as I said, winning the four-cylinder race, Neil Mackenzie, a fine 5th place on the Yum.
Round 12 saw another one of Walker's electric starts, and he rocketed into 2nd place by the first bend, just behind Bayliss. After the disappointment of the first race, Walker wasn't taking any prisoners and forced himself to the front. But Bayliss wasn't going to let him run away with it and eventually powered past Walker on the main straight. James Hayden's luck continued to desert him and he retired with suspension problems. But it was Bayliss who stormed to his 2nd double victory of the year and treated the crowd to another huge burnout. That meant that Bayliss had extended his lead over Walker to 31 points and Hodgson had pushed Hayden down to 4th, with Reynolds just 1 point behind him.